Well, hey y'all. I'm back. Thank you for all the messages. I'm fine. Nothing wrong with me. Good health and all that. I placed a grocery order today and I think I had put on uh, a little pint of ice cream and then I decided to take it off. But they sent it anyway. So it's a good mistake. I think I would enjoy eating some ice cream right now. And I don't have my teeth in because I want to enjoy this ice cream. It is Private Selection Kroger brand, black raspberry and dark chocolate chunks. Mm, it's, it's good to me. So I thought, well, I don't have a working freezer, so I'll eat my ice cream first. Yes, I'll eat the whole pint. And then I'll get my groceries together and show you what I bought. Mmm, really tastes good. And since I can't do two things at once, I guess I will um, stop this video, eat my ice cream, and then I'll come back um, with my grocery haul and talk to y'all about, what's been going on. Nothing special, just ordinary things. Mmm, oh, that's really good. And around the edge, it's kind of melted. I like dipping my spoon down around the edge and getting some of that melted with the hard ice cream. Oh, don't eat it too fast so I don't get a freezer brain or freezer headache or whatever that is. Yes, I know the video is dark, but that's okay since I don't have my teeth in. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, now I'm back with my grocery haul. I'll show you what I got and how much I paid for everything. I got a 60 count of eggs for $15.49. I got celery, $2.39. A 4 pound bag of navel oranges for $3.99. 3 carrots, $1.55. Two sweet potatoes, they were $1.81. I got hamburger buns, they were $1.99. I had ordered a Boston butt, but they were out, so I can use these for sandwiches just as well as regular bread. I can make a breakfast sausage sandwich for breakfast. I got Gold Miner sourdough bread, and it's a wide pan, so one slice will make a sandwich. Uh, Jimmy Dean sausage. It was $5.49. I had gotten spoiled. I had been getting it for $3.99, but I would just rather have Jimmy Dean. I got 6 cans of no salt green beans, 1 can of cream of celery soup. Uh, let's see, this is um, chicken thighs, and I paid $7.04. They were $1.99 a pound, and they're pretty big in there. There's 6 of them in there. Uh, the shelf-stable milk. This is oat milk. It doesn't matter to me. It can be, except for soy. Uh, Oat milk or almond milk, hemp milk, it doesn't matter. Folgers coffee, black silk. It's gone up to $16.99. Yeah, it hadn't reached my limit yet. Uh, some Pampers wet ones. I forgot to look to see how much they were. Probably like $2.49 or $1.99, something like that. And I got some bleach, low splash lavender scent. You know, it still smells like bleach. It was $5.29. So I'm gonna put my oranges in this bowl. Now, my mother always had a bowl of fruit, of fresh fruit, sitting out. It was usually apples, but we always had fresh fruit out on the table. Okay. In this container, it's a Rubbermaid. I can keep fresh fruits or vegetables in here, and they'll keep for a long time without spoiling. It's got a little thing in the bottom of it, you know, so the moisture can go down underneath, so your vegetables or fruits are not sitting in water. Okay. Let's see. Now, I don't know how many of you roll up your celery in foil, but it will keep for much longer. And I'm not going to wash it, I'll just wash it as I need it. Spread away. Okay, let me put these other things away. All right, got the groceries put up. So, what y'all been doing? Hmm? I've just been uh, sitting here playing my online game and binge watching TV. Uh, and I thought I would get on here today. Somebody had sent a message to my cousin saying uh, they were concerned about me. They subscribed to me and my cousin. And so I thought, well, I better get on there so people don't think something terrible has happened to me. Fly flew up in my nose. um, I've just been uh, contemplating. I have uh, mm, lots of things that I need to take care of, and I am the world's worst about putting off stuff. Procrastinator is my middle name. I confess to you that my sink was stopped up for 6 months, and I was bailing water out my back door, all because I just didn't want to call a plumber. I didn't want to let go of that cash. But I finally called, and he came out and fixed it, and fixed a couple other little things. And I just about cried. I just about cried because my sink was unstopped. I mean, I had changed the way I was eating. I used my air fryer. I would get a piece of foil and put my sausage patty on there and cook it. And then when I was done, I just threw that piece of foil away because I didn't want to dirty up a bunch of dishes, because it takes a lot when your sink is stopped up. I had a plastic bucket that I would wash them in. I had another one for when I would rinse, and um, I built up my arm muscles carrying that water, throwing it out the back door. But I am long suffering. And so I got that taken care of. I also bought a new, well, they're not new, they're used. A new oven. All four burners work. The oven works, and it's clean on the inside. And I also got a dryer. I paid $2.75 for each one with a $35 delivery charge. They came and installed them for me and took the old ones away. And I was going to use the dryer, and it wasn't heating. And I thought, oh, what's going on? So I called up there, have a 90-day warranty. I called and said, it's not heating. The guy said, did you check your breaker? I checked the breaker. I said, yes, sir, I checked the breaker. So he said, well, it's always a breaker. And so he came out here. And the problem is that the dryer, to tumble it, just to turn it on, runs on a 110. But the heating element runs on a 220. And my breaker was throwing that breaker switch. And so my other dryer was probably fine. I was tumble drying clothes, because it didn't have any heat. So all this time it's been the breaker box. Now my daddy built this house in 1960. So things are getting old. Just like me, they're getting old, and they need a little extra care. So the plumber who came out, um, the the company that he works for, they have plumbing, AC, and electric. So I will call them to come and check my breaker. And in the meantime, I'll just use my little drying rack I have. I can put my clothes in that drying rack in the breezeway outside, and they'll dry in no time, because today my computer says it's 97 out there. So, and it's supposed to be really hot today and tomorrow and cool down to the 80s by the end of the week. So I might as well take advantage of that heat out there to dry my clothes. And I also need to get my truck fixed. Can't be, I've been, if I need to go somewhere, I just borrow one of my daughter's cars, but she's having trouble with one, and the one I've been driving, she needs to use it. So that puts me out of a vehicle. So I really need to get my own vehicle fixed. And what else? What else do I need to take care of? Oh yeah, the fuel tank, my propane tank, I need to have it replaced. The last time I was going to have it filled, they said, I'm sorry, man, we can't fill it. It has a leak, and it's 75 years old, and I want to change. I want to change companies. It's Amerigas, and they're just such a huge company. I called and really didn't get a very good customer service response. So I think I'll go with a local company. And even though it's very hot today, I still need to think about, see, August, September, October, by three to 4 months it's going to be cold, and I'll be needing my heat. So I need to take care of that. Um, I need to call my insurance company that the company that my husband worked for, and ask them what is the current mail order pharmacy. I hadn't kept up with it. I'd just been getting my prescriptions at Kroger, but I want to get them through the mail so that they're, I don't have to be driving to town all the time, even though I got them on a 90-day refill. It's just like I'm going up there every month to get medicine. So I'd rather just have them delivered, to the house. And, oh, what else? There's a couple other things. I can't even think of them. So when I have decisions to make like that, I just muddle through. I just think about it and think about it and think about it, much to the irritation of my late husband and children. It just took me forever to do something. I'm just not ever in a hurry, you know. And the more you press me about something, the longer I'm going to take to make up my mind. I don't like to be pushed. So, in the meantime, uh, uh, since I was here last, I went for my 6 month checkup at the doctor. Everything's fine. My blood pressure was 110/70. I'd lost some more weight. I'm down to 171. Uh, yeah, I'm not trying to lose weight. That's just how it happens to be, because I don't eat a lot of things. I avoid, sugary processed things except for that delicious ice cream I had earlier. uh, but I guess I just, the older you get, you don't eat quite as much. I can remember when I was, say, 40 years old, I could eat two hamburgers and, baked beans and French fries. Oh, I couldn't eat all that now. Now I just eat one hamburger. I don't eat anything else with it. And so that probably helps you know, just not eating like I used to. And, oh yeah, I need to get a new refrigerator because the freezer doesn't work. And the appliance store, the used appliance store that I went to, they had a refrigerator. It was white, and believe me, I don't care what color it is. It can be purple with pink polka dots, and if it works, that's fine with me. But it has a freezer on the bottom, and that's what I prefer because I go into the refrigerator more often than I go in the freezer, and so I don't have to keep bending over. I don't have trouble with my back. It's not that. It's just I'd rather just look at things in my refrigerator standing in an upright position rather than bending over. Uh, and This weekend, my son, he had called me and asked me if I could drive him to Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It's about 3.5 hours from here. He was going to pick up a new car, and it was cheaper for him to drive up there and get the car up there than it was here locally. So that took all day, drove up there and back. And then I had to drive him to his residence and then drive back so he could pick up his new car and all that. And while I was doing this, I spent my night Friday and Saturday at my mother-in-law's house, which is nice because we get along real well, and it's a respite for me. I mean, it's not like I'm under pressure at home or anything like that. I mean, all the things that I need to take care of, I can still think of those when I'm at Granny's house. But it was nice to be in a different environment. And, and of course, I got to spend time with my son, and so it was nice. And the 4th of July, mm, my daughter and her husband and stepdaughter were about 2 hours away. They were at a family function, for the 4th of July. And the phone rang about 9:30 in the evening, and it was my daughter, and she said that one of the neighbors had seen one of her pigs out and had put it uh, at her place and closed the gate, so it couldn't get out. And she asked me to go up there and check, and I said, "Well, yeah, I'll go up there and check for you." Now I was in my nightgown, and I wasn't gonna change clothes. I mean, it's dark, nobody's gonna see me. So I go up there, and I see this pig. It's a big pig, probably I don't know, 350 pounds. And uh, I said, "Come here, girl, come here." The pig came to me. I scratched behind the ears. And, she was wagging her tail, and I called my daughter and I said, "Okay, I see the pig." I said, "It's pink or white. I can't tell, because it was dark. All I had were the car lights." And I said, "It's got like brown, soft brown spots all over it." And she said, "That doesn't sound like one of my pigs." And so she was telling me, uh, you know, where to put the pig so it just wouldn't be running loose. And she said, "Well, try this particular pen." So I go walking around. Of course, I had to be careful because the ground is unlevel, and I don't want to fall. I have my nightgown on. The nightgown doesn't have pockets, and I had no place to put my cell phone, so I was hanging on to, fencing and all that stuff, working my way around to see if there was a pig in that pen. They have little huts, little small ones. So I went around there and I looked in there, and sure enough, there was a pig in there. Well, I couldn't put this strange pig, uh, in there with another pig. And um, so I walked around, and she said, "Well, try putting it in the feeding pen." So I said, "Come on, girl, come on." Calling the pig, and the pig just came right after me, followed me, and I put it in that feeding pig. Well, the gate closure is different than what I'm used to, and I couldn't figure out how to close that gate. And I ended up getting a twist tie. My daughter happened to have some twist ties in her car, and I got one of those twist ties and put on there, hoping that would hold it. And after I did that, made sure that the pig was secure, then I had to go out in the car and go up and down the roads, close to home to see if there were any other pigs out, because she was concerned if one pig was out, maybe there were other pigs out. And so I did that, and I came back. I called her, and during all this time, I had been able to take with my flip phone. I was able to take a photograph of the pig, and it was good enough for her to be able to tell that it was one of her pigs. And so I came back from driving around the neighborhood, and I said, "I don't see any other pigs." And she was already on her way back up here, and she got back uh, within 2 hours, and I had told her, "Give me a call, let me know everything's okay." So I spent about an hour, doing all that in my nightgown and in the dark. And I told her, I said, "I'm going to have to go on Amazon and buy one of those big honking flashlights, one that you can plug into the wall and keep it charged all the time. And then when I need to use it, it'll have a big, big, bright light, because I was using one of those little tiny flashlights, and the battery was wearing down on it. So that was quite an adventure for me. That was something out of the ordinary that went on around here. And so the pig, I don't know how she got out. My daughter was thinking maybe she got left behind in the feeding pen, and didn't get back across into gin pop with all the other ones, and she had just walked down the road, and you know somebody could have gotten her and made dinner out of her. That's just terrible thought, for my daughter that you know uh, rescues these pigs. And so it all worked out and everything's fine. And so that's what's been happening here. Nothing, out of the ordinary for around here. And, not overly excited. No tragedies or anything like that. And so uh, thank y'all for thinking of me and wondering what's going on. I'm sorry that I haven't uh, been on here. I haven't replied to any emails. I get focused on something, whether it be somebody mentioned that maybe I was doing genealogy. No, I wasn't doing genealogy. I was just binge watching TV shows and playing my game and, just making dinner here and there. I shouldn't say dinner because I wasn't making meat and three. Whatever's easy. Some nights I just had popcorn because I didn't want to go to the trouble of making anything. So uh, I guess that's all I need to say. So y'all have a good afternoon, a good evening, a good day, and please remember to be kind to someone. Someone needs your kindness today. Bye.